been very present for me this week. And I know that you all can relate to this in one way or another, but it is what I would lovingly call the crushing pressure of stress around deadlines, timelines, project due dates, and then all of that run through my own personal filter of excellence, really wanting things to be done right and be done well. And so, I won't ask for a raise of hands, but I'm going to guess all of you all professionals out there can relate to that feeling. And this week, it was very present for me. I found myself, as you may know, I was gone for 2 weeks in Costa Rica. And somebody asked me this week, how long have you been back? And I found myself wanting to say a month. And it hasn't even been a week. So it was an insight for me of just, coming back into this world, catching up from being gone, and then also things that I want, things that I desire, a situation that I've created for myself, and feeling the pressure of that. And so I've had this really interesting week because I'm also preparing. We launched a leadership course this week. We're in the middle of our coaching academy for certifying coaches. And I'm also prepping for a week of mindful leader training for ODHS District 4 next week. And so I've been immersed in the research and the data and the practices around being a mindful leader. So it's been an interesting week to feel that crushing pressure of stress and also be immersed in the reminder of the power of mindfulness. And so I've used that this week. I've surrounded myself in my office with all of these tools and techniques, and I've been using them. And I'm reporting out. Sure enough, these mindfulness things we do, this practice that we embark upon, it has really been such a gift this week. I have been very present with this voice in my head that is saying, you don't have enough time. It's the scarcity voice. You don't have enough time. You don't have enough of the right wording. You don't have it, together enough, essentially, to do all of these things that you're trying to do. And then holding that, making space for that, and getting curious about it, really practicing self-compassion, replacing that inner language with, I do have enough. I have an amazing team. We've built an amazing practice. We've got so much to share with emerging leaders and leaders as they develop these skills. Breathing, using my breath so much this week and allowing it to create a posture that keeps me present. And so I want to guide us through some of the practices that I've been doing this week that I have found really helpful. I know that crushing pressure, I know that that's for me, it's a very visceral phrase, but it is how I have felt this week. It has really been something heavy on me. And so I know that is not unique to me. And so just reminding ourselves of how we are with ourselves in those moments is everything. And it also very much impacts the outcome, right? The deliverable that we're all working towards, these great services, this great project, these great relationships or teams or whatever it is. Us being with ourselves, making space for ourselves in the process, making room for our beings greatly impacts what we do, our human doing, our deliverables, and our outcomes. So with that, let's go ahead and get into our practice. You can close your eyes. You can also take a soft gaze, which just means usually lowering your eyes, kind of casting them downward. Feel yourself land in this moment this morning, here on February 16th, which for me is another deadline. I've got something due and a class to teach. Landing here in this morning, this glorious, magnificent, complex gift of being alive this morning. Allow your breath to guide your body into a posture that lands you here, that lands you present, where you feel the support of whatever is holding your body, be that the floor or the chair. Feel that support. Feel the strength of what is holding your body. And feel your ability to be on it or in it in a trusting, held way. And then rest into it. Feel it fully. Allow your feet, your toes, and your heels to ground in. If you're sitting, feel your bottom balanced, grounded into the chair, and then use that as a source of energy that you pull up through your core, feeling that attentive, energetic, flexible spine, the soft, vulnerable belly, breathing in and breathing out. Allow that to adjust your shoulders, an area where I hold so much of that stress and pressure. I feel it. Drop them back. Create the space for your breath to flow freely. Bringing your tongue to the front of the roof of your mouth. Parting your lips gently, allowing your exhale to flow. Lifting the crown of the head and welcoming a softness to the space between your eyebrows. You might even invite a slight smile. And just breathe here for a moment, inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. I've used this posture a lot this week as I find myself scrunched over or walking quickly. Just allowing my breath to remind my body that we're here together, present, able to use the gifts that we have, which is my breath and my mindset and my self-talk and my self-compassion. And that when I use those things, I activate the caregiving part of my brain, the part of my brain that keeps me resilient, that keeps me flexible and pliable, able to return to the work after challenges or setbacks or failures. When I use my mindfulness tools, I activate the caregiving portion of my brain. And I don't have to wait for the timeline to pass or the project to come to completion. I can do it right now in the midst of finding myself feeling overwhelmed by stress and deadlines and spreadsheets and numbers. You can stay in this place if you'd like. If you'd like to try a visualization technique with me, this is one I also practiced this week that was so helpful. And for some of us, visualization is another tool that we have and can access. And for some of us, visualization proves to be more stressful and more challenging. So show up to this exercise in whatever way works for you. If you've ever used Google Earth, this is the image I want you to bring to mind. And the gift of Google Earth is you're kind of floating out in the atmosphere, the point of view of a satellite circling our Earth. And you start to hone in, let's just say on your home address. And so you see planet Earth, you see the Americas, you zoom in to North America, you zoom in to the United States, you zoom in to the Pacific Northwest, you zoom in to Oregon, you zoom in to Southern Oregon. For me, I zoom in to Jacksonville. I zoom in to my address, and I can even see the little red dot of where I'm at in my home. And what I like to do is visualize myself going back out to the atmosphere. That this thing, this deadline, this pressure, this stress that I'm so hyper focused on, it's just a small bit of energy in this amazing universe I'm in. And so I imagine myself going fingers on the keyboard, eyeballs on the screen, into the room, my office, into this space, into this property, onto this road, into this town, out to the Rogue Valley, out to Southern Oregon, out to Oregon, out to the Pacific Northwest. I see green, I see blue, I see clouds. Out to North America, out to the Americas, out into the atmosphere. And I hang out there, I float there. Gaining perspective, reminding my brain to practice presence and perspective. And while I'm floating out there, I see if there's any of my self-talk that really isn't serving me, things I want to replace. Statements with, I got to do this. It's all got to get done. If I don't do it, who's going to? It has to be perfect. I hate this computer. I hate these things, right? These are all things I'm saying. And so I use that space, that perspective to replace that. I'm resourceful. I'm able. I'm surrounded by support. Not all of this will get done right now. There's no such thing as perfection. And play with that for yourself this morning. What did you notice as you were floating out in the atmosphere? What new perspective does it give you? And find yourself back in your body, back in this moment. Taking a final big inhale together and opening your eyes or bringing your gaze back up as we do a big exhale together. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for being here. Thanks for floating around the world with me. Hope you join us on Wednesday for the Mindful Masterclass. Be well, everyone. Take care. Thanks so much.